And I remember one day our teacher saying to us, even though I was in the top bands, saying to a little group of us, and we were 5 black girls on one table, saying that the most you can hope for is to be nurses. Now, I'm not dissing nurses because we all respect what nurses do and the role they play for the NHS. But to label us, that's the most we could hope for, was pretty limiting. And it's interesting now that I actually build ground up around that said school. Hi, I'm Lorraine and this is Property Insiders. I'm Lorraine Thomas, I'm a property developer, I'm an investor and I'm a landlord with a social purpose. I'm more purpose than I am property because I believe that people should be given a chance to rent or own. View from my window, which is my small property development business, is all about lifting others and trying to get people on the property ladder. So where did I start? Well, I had given up my job in the city. I was working in the city for about 20 years, actually, in business development and marketing in a law firm. And I gave up my job to care for my dad, who was suffering with Parkinson's and dementia. And I had no idea how I was going to make ends meet, but somehow I did. About 6 months into my journey, I got an email from a friend who, the email wasn't meant for me. I responded to it. She wanted to find somebody who was going to look after, find accommodation for young adults that were looked after by the borough. That was her business. I jumped at the chance to do this a couple of days a week just for a break from my full-time caring role, and here I am today. Okay, so we're at Fountain Gates, CR7. It's a 9-unit development which my business partner and I sourced about 2 years ago. It was an 18-month project, but because of COVID, we're behind about 6 months. Originally, it was 5 garages. We put an offer in. It was accepted. It was over and above what other seasoned developers had offered, and we said we'll take it unconditionally. Yeah, the deal was done.
Okay, well, basically, I do another business, and the business I do is work with young adults, young people, young adults, and we provide accommodation support for local authorities. And I was looking for someone to look for accommodation for us, because it's quite a lot of work, really. And I had a cousin who used to work with us, and her name's Lorraine. And I thought, I was emailing her to see if she's interested. She was like, yeah, she's kind of interested, but she wasn't really being, consistent with what she's saying. So then anyway, I just sent out an email and said, well, look, I need to know, because obviously if you're not interested, then I'll look for someone else. And I was quite surprised with the email. When it came back, it was really, really excitable, and I was like, oh, that doesn't sound like her tone, because she doesn't really usually write like that, I thought, okay, she's really changed her tune, so yeah. So I said, okay, yeah, well, fine, let's start the work, really. And then I realised that it wasn't my cousin, it was actually Lorraine, who I did know from church. We go to church together, so I did know it's not like just a random person.
So I responded to the email that wasn't meant for me. Off I went to find accommodation for these young adults. It's interesting, really, because I didn't have that skill set, and I didn't know that I could actually sell into landlords and sell into estate agents. But I was quite good at it, and I managed to secure quite a lot of accommodation. Eventually, though, what I discovered was what I was securing just didn't hit the mark. And so landlords were asking for huge deposits, sometimes 6 months up front. And they were also asking for lots of guarantees, etc. And the accommodation wasn't even that nice. So Dolores and I thought we could do it better. Off we went to auction and bought our first property. We made every mistake going. We did everything wrong, but that's why we can call ourselves true experts today, because we have learnt on our journey. And successfully we've gone back to auction several times, and we now accommodate people who are disadvantaged and also young adults that have come through the care system. So I went to school locally in Croydon, and I went to Selhurst High School for Girls, which is now the famous Brit School. And I remember one day our teacher saying to us, even though I was in the top bands, saying to a little group of us, and we were 5 black girls on one table, saying that the most you can hope for is to be nurses. Now, I'm not dissing nurses, because we all respect what nurses do and the role they play for the NHS. But to label us, that's the most we could hope for, was pretty limiting. And it's interesting now that I actually build ground up around that said school and have many properties locally. So what I would say is don't be stopped or led by things that are negative, particularly at school where you feel that you're influenced and you've got to listen to what the teacher says. For us, they got it wrong. So this is one of our Learn, Earn and Own projects. We've recently bought it at auction. It's in Croydon. It's a 4-bedroom house, but we're aiming to turn it either into an HMO, a 7-bed HMO, or 2 flats, a 2-bed and a 3-bed, both with gardens. So we're just about to have a meeting. Come on inside. So I run a mentoring program, which is all about people being handheld through property. I'm not a teacher, I'm not a coach, you're not going to get lots of training manuals. It's all about those that are ready to go in property, but feel a little bit scared and nervous, as I was, and want to be handheld through the process. It's very, very bespoke to each individual, and you can learn with me, and by that it's learning on one of my projects, and we literally spend the time learning on my project, but you're actually working through your journey of where we want to get you there in 12 months. A couple of my mentees have come from backgrounds where they've grown up in social housing, council housing, and so they've not aspired to own. And so View from My Window is all about them leaving that behind and recognising that they can own in Britain, and that will set the cat amongst the pigeons. It's really important that people dream big, aspire big, get a mentor to help to journey with you.
Hi, I'm Shelly Ann. I've been working with Lorraine for about, I think, 6 or so months now, and it's been quite a challenging experience. So it's not the first time I've done a property transaction, but I've never actually got into the weeds of property development. So it's a bit scary, it's very challenging, it involves long hours, but it's a lot of fun. So I'd say that's the main thing I'm enjoying about this process. It's just working with Lorraine and the guys. It's just loads of fun despite the hard work.
My name's Melvin. I'm currently on the Learn, Earn, Own mentorship with Lorraine. I think it's a really valuable opportunity, especially if you're someone who's a little bit risk averse and wanting to really have someone hold your hand through the process. You get to work on a live deal with tradespeople, contractors. It's a property that you can physically own and touch. It's not collectively pulled together, and it's a case that you get as much out of the mentorship that you put into the mentorship.
Hi there, my name is Chloe Obi and I'm the architect working on the St Saviour's Road project. I've known Lorraine for roughly 3 or 4 years now, and she contacted me roughly 4 months ago, just telling me that she had a project which she just recently purchased and she was in need of an architect, and being an architect from an architectural background, I decided just to jump on the case. Yes, so I actually met Lorraine whilst I was on holiday, and ever since then, so 3 or 4 years ago, we've just kept in touch, and recently she reached out to me saying she was in need of an architect, and I just literally was really enthusiastic about this project and being part of the team. I mean, Lorraine, she's really enthusiastic, she's got a wealth of knowledge when it comes to building, construction, property development, and just really excited to be working with her on this project.
So this is our builder, Fermin. Yeah. He's in charge of the whole project. Anything he says, we do.
Beautiful, that's great. Very exciting project here. We were working as a team, you know, great people. It's fantastic. You know, it's all gonna be great. It's all gonna be good.
So what I would say to my younger self is believe in yourself. You are enough. You can do it. Just trust in yourself.
Yo, vintage got the boom.